because of these lines, I sort of can piece together this puzzle quite quickly. I'll try to draw these lines up a bit harder for the sake of this exercise. Normally I'm not doing too much outlining, because an outline breaks the illusion, but I'm just going to show you how I quickly kind of transfer these lines across. See, that comes up a little higher there, so there roughly, and then we've got that shape, the face, just bringing that shape of her face into here. Obviously I'm breaking the illusion now a little bit with my outline, but I just want to show you how I block in the shapes, and I normally would do this very lightly so that that doesn't become a part of the end result. But as this is an exercise and I want to show you, so to make it easier to follow, I'm making these outlines quite pronounced, and I'll just work with it, try to bring it into my style as I go. But yeah, this is the first one in a series of working with emotions. So I'm just going to block in that dark there, just really looking at that dark around her face, just completely ignoring the actual facial features and just purely looking at the shape of the darker shades in her face. So we've got that line coming up like so, and then it's just like a puzzle, putting a puzzle together. So I'm gonna follow that dark there and just kind of ignore all of these mistakes that AI has done with the fingers. Just feel my way with it to try to get it into something that kind of makes sense. Got a little bit of hair there. So I think I'm ready to shade this thing. So I'm just going to switch off those green lines and just go a little wild with the shading. Now I'm going to bring out my Panpastel and my little sponge, my Panpastel sponge, and I think I will just start blocking in the darkest bits, but quite loosely, and just trying to keep some energy going in that. We got some anatomy of the neck there. Gonna darken here where the hair comes down. The eye, just that eyebrow hint. Then I'm gonna do the hand, the dark here around the side of the hand. And I think I'm going to do that dark bit next. It's just kind of a round blob. And then there's just a little bit of eyelash breaking into the light. And then some lines of her face. And I like this one in the forehead. Gives her a little bit of age, and there's a lot of emotion in the forehead wrinkles. It's funny how we maybe don't realize the value of being able to show our emotions with our wrinkles. So we've got that dark coming in there, just describing her cheek, and coming around up there. Accidentally darkened a little bit here, but it was supposed to stay light. So her eyebrow is kind of going up in a direction there. And then her hair is also dark, really dark. So bring her chin in a little bit. This hand is quite dark all over. There's some details in there, but I'll add those in a little bit later. It's just got like an all around shade of grey going on. And this hand coming up here, the thumb, some shadow on there. But yeah, it's obviously quite wrong. Just because she's got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers going on. I think instead of her clothes being pronounced too much, even though I quite like this sort of white robe that she's in, sort of flowing white robe. It's kind of suited. I feel like she's praying. I think instead of that, I might just do some kind of movement lines coming across. Maybe just a hint of a top. And the fabric, I think we needed a little bit in there. A little bit dark in there. I'm going to go with that slightly rope-like thing she's wearing. And down here I don't have any information, so I'm just going to fade it out a little bit. feel like she's got a bit of a look of concentration, like she's focusing her energy into prayer, and that she's got some sort of power generating here between her lifted hands. Then it gets quite deep in the blacks over there, which I think is quite nice. Just gonna hint at how I feel this hand should kind of be shaped. Get rid of these outlines a little bit more. I think I need something a little bit more precise to work on the expression on her forehead. I'm just going to test what I've got on here. To work on that concentration in her lips. And it gets a little dark here. Especially where the nostril is. Now that the expression in her forehead there, I just want to catch it. It's just that eyebrows are sort of coming in a little bit, and it really makes it feel like she's concentrating or she's visualizing something, I think. Bit of rubber work, just bringing quite a big rubber in, just to have a play around. Doesn't have to be, I just find it actually works better, these things, if they're not too precise. I just want to capture the vibe rather than all of the details. And I find sometimes if I bring my really tiny rubber into the picture, it kind of can easily lose some of the vibe that I'm looking for. That's just something I've noticed. I just go back and forth. Now I am going to use my rubber here, my Mono Zero eraser for this nostril because it's just too small. I feel like I probably now I just want these exercises to be half an hour long, so but I want them to be kind of focused on the emotion in the picture, and I think it does. I think this little drawing does capture something of what I see. Get into the flow of capturing some emotions and getting expressive. But being quite loose with it. But that forehead wrinkle didn't quite translate the way I wanted it to. Just gonna work on that a little bit more. And her eyebrow. Maybe it's just a bit bright. Sometimes I find that can just be good just to be a bit wild, mess it up a little bit, and then see if there's anything fun that happens as a result. This is a process I love, where you just kind of tweak around, adding and taking away, and yeah, sometimes it just, sometimes I've got something and I lose it, and that's okay by me as well. but I'm nearly at my half-an-hour mark, so I've just got 3 minutes to maybe. What would I like to do with my 3 minutes? I think some deep blacks would be the thing. Right there, I want the eye to go. So if I just give her edge of her mouth a little bit of darkness there, I feel like I can almost just hint at a smile or a peaceful expression. Somebody's drilling outside. Not very peaceful. There's a bit where I accidentally end up making this much longer and then I get scrapped for YouTube because it's gotten too long. So I'm going to just be a little bit free with this project that I'm doing now and just decide that not to overdo the length of these exercises, but just to stop at 30 minutes. It's very hard to do that. make her a bit more blurry. That top there, I don't want to be too fuzzy. Just chaotic white lines there. It's getting up to 33 now. I'm totally gonna stop